You know what? I used to feel pretty guilty when I removed people from my life because obviously I love and cared about these people, but just because you're removing someone from your life doesn't mean you don't care about them, doesn't mean you don't love them. It's important to have boundaries. It's important to take care of yourself. It's important to put yourself first, you know. I did slightly talk about this in my last episode about how I removed certain people from my life because I didn't want the negativity, and it wasn't coming from a cold place, or it wasn't coming from a petty or cold place. It was coming from a place where I wanted to heal, I wanted to move on, I wanted to do better for myself and my own mental well-being. And just because I've removed people from my life doesn't mean I don't love or care about them. It's simply from my own mental state. I think that's why a lot of people to this day do struggle to remove themselves from certain people or certain situations, because again, we're used to having them in our lives, and we have this thought process that, well, what am I going to do if I don't have them in my life, and what it means I don't care about them, because it doesn't. I had struggled with that quite a lot, especially with like family members. I felt guilty, I felt bad, and we should never feel guilty for wanting the best for ourselves, you know. And I'll probably say this over and over again, we only live once. We only have one shot at living this life, and I don't want to continue living this life if it's going to be surrounded by negativity and guilt and shame and hatred. And I just want to literally live my life to the fullest capacity. Fortunately, we can't always live it to our full capacity if we still surround ourselves with people and environments that just don't serve us. And I know I'm here to speak about bringing you positivity and helping you on your journeys, but I also cannot surround myself with people like that in my life personally. I want people to live a happy life, and I tried to do that with so many people. I always thought my mission in life was to heal people that I loved and cared about. I felt like that was my only purpose in life, and I feel like I failed a million times miserably. But the fact is, you can't help those that don't want to be helped. People will do it on their own time, and I think that's really important to remember, because I feel like we always feel entitled to help other people, but these people want to have help. I don't think I phrased that right. They'll have to want to be helped. These people need to have that mindset of want to be helped. That's a real tongue twister, I think. But yeah, if they don't want to be helped, then unfortunately you have to let them crack on. There's only so much you can do to help someone else, and if they don't want it, then they won't take it, trust me. So yeah, it's really important to protect your energy, because even if it means making hard decisions, you have to do it. You have to protect your peace and your energy. So why is it so hard to actually step back from those people that we care about and love and that we want to help? We've been raised since a young age that being a good person means we are endlessly available. So I can relate to this. So being an empath and people who feel deeply, it's even harder. You know, we pick up on moods, we pick up on tensions, we pick up on energies. And I think that's one thing I've struggled the most with people, because I feel things so intensely. I think that's part of being neurodiverse, because we do feel things on a more heightened level. So whenever I feel like bad energies and the tensions, like, it really affects my mood and affects my emotions. So again, that was another reason why I had to remove certain things from my life, because it was just getting like too much for me, like emotional. And the problem is the constant of caretaking is a form of self-abandonment, because you're constantly carrying someone else's weight, and that's going to lead you to exhaustion. If you're like me, who had it with multiple people, I was constantly carrying everyone else's weight besides my own, and then it just got too heavy. My cup was getting run dry, and I was constantly pouring to everyone else's, but no one seemed to pour it into mine. I just remember, it's not called step back. It's cruel to yourself for abandoning yourself and your well-being and your mental health. Like, you got to look after yourself at the end of the day. I say this all the time, but you are the most important person in your life. And if you can't take care of yourself, how can you expect to take care of anyone else? It's so important. You know, you can still love someone and recognise that being around them is not helping your mental well-being or your well-being at all. You know, that's not a cruel thing. I think we need to remember that. It's a good thing, you know. Being self-aware is such an important thing, and I don't think a lot of us have enough self-awareness. You know, being self-aware is important, because then you can track how things are happening, and then you can help yourself and fix yourself, you know, and become this person who wants to go on this healing journey and have a better life. And that not only impacts yourself but everyone else around you, because, you know, energies feed off energies, right? So if you're good in yourself, the people you are surrounded by, they're gonna feel that too. But I get it. It's like a weird kind of feeling, you know. It's a kind of grief that it's hard to explain. You know, you're grieving someone who's still alive, but you're grieving them as a person that you do love, and not having them around. You can't go back to the same energy. You want to move ahead and move forward in life, and if removing yourself from certain things is going to help you with that, then you have to do it. Okay, you know me, I like to back my shit up with some facts and science, because if you're not backing it up, then you're just talking absolute gibberish. Okay, so there's actually a science behind why this affects us so much. So emotional contagion, I don't know what that says. Our brains have minor neurons that mimic the emotions of people around us. If someone is constantly complaining or pessimistic, your brain literally mirrors that energy. Can you say it loud for the people at the back, please? Amen, sister. So yeah, if someone's constantly complaining or being negative, your brain is going to pick it up and it's going to mirror that. Guys, we need to start talking more positively, please. Harvard Business School 2017 found that chronic exposure to negative people increases stress and reduces motivation. Slay. So chronic exposure to negative people increases stress and reduces motivation. Can you say it louder for the people at the back, please? Because I don't think they heard you. The Notre Dame research shows that constant negativity can heighten your body's cortisol levels, keeping you in fight or flight mode even when you're resting. Guys, Are you listening? Are you hearing this? Constant negativity is gonna increase your stress levels, people. No wonder everyone is feeling stressed all the time. You're consuming too much negativity, people. Time to wake up. So that's why you feel tense or tired after being around certain people. It's not dramatic, it's biological. Like, no wonder I felt so drained being around certain people. I'd literally be around people, right? Certain individuals, I'll get home and actually be burnt out to a crisp. I'd be bedbound for days because I soaked up too much negativity. Like, hello, are you listening to this, people? When you remove yourself from that environment, your nervous system finally has a chance to calm down. That calmness is healing. Girl, I've been healing for the past decade. Trust me. You can't rewire your mindset if you're constantly surrounding by energy that feels like the old version of you. Yes, amen, sister. You cannot heal if you're constantly surrounding yourself by environments or people that aren't on the same level as you. If you're still constantly hanging around with people who talk shit, who are negative, who gossip, like the gossip I just can't stand, or people that are hateful, they're negative, like racist, sexist, homophobic. Like, what do you mean? That's disgusting and negative. We don't need that language around here, please. Love is love. We love everyone, okay? Jeez. So what does protecting your energy actually looks like? Because it doesn't actually always mean just cutting people off dramatically. I mean, that's usually my go-to, because when you explain yourself once, I feel like if you didn't listen to me the first time, you're not going to listen to me the second time, third, fourth, fifth. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just being quiet. It's spending less time together. It's changing the topic when the conversation goes negative. You know, it's keeping certain boundaries around what you share with those certain individuals. You know, it's having boundaries. Boundaries are actually really important. You know, it's learning to say, I love you, but, you know, I can't carry this on for you anymore. It's when I can really relate to. But it's being really selective around who you spend your time with, your empathy, your space. I'm a homebody now. I have a very small circle and I love it that way. It's probably the best decision I've ever made. You know, my peace is there. You know, I have my circle who is very small, who I interact with. I spend most of my time by myself, because if I can't love myself, how the hell can I love somebody else, you know? Being around myself is so important. I love my own environment. I love my own energy, my own presence. Don't get me wrong, I never actually used to be like that. I was at a point where I had to like see someone different every single day. I couldn't bear the thought of being alone. I thought I'd be wrapped up in my own depressive thoughts. Honestly, I'm such a changed person. Like, I can't believe how much I've grown and developed as a human being. Honestly, if my self could see me from 5 years ago, she'd be like, go queen, go fucking queen, we actually made it. I honestly can't comprehend. Like, my mental state and well-being was so poor. The amount of times I didn't want to be on this earth, it's sad. It's sad to think back about it now. But I'm so proud of myself, you know. I think that's really important as well, to be proud of yourself and proud of those small steps that we have done. But I think I've just digressed a little bit. Sorry about that. But it's also, you know, digitally unfollowing and muting accounts that make you compare, overthink, or spiral. I guess if you constantly see people's like posts, accounts come up on your social media, then you feel inclined to unfollow them, you know, just to have that bit of peace of mind. Yeah, this point I can actually relate to as well. It's catching yourself when you feel that energy shift. Your body never lies. If you leave a conversation and feel drained, your body's telling you something. I've had this so many times. Like, if I felt like anxious around someone, that to me was never a good sign. Or like my energy would shift, like I couldn't fully be myself around certain individuals, people that would drain me, you know, bad energy, it's projecting onto me, you know, just those sort of things. Now we're going to be addressing the guilt. So remember, guilt is normal. It reminds you that you have empathy, and if you have empathy, it means like you're human, you're humanizing. Like, if you don't have empathy, that means you don't really care, and it's important to care. You know, it means you have emotional intelligence. You don't owe constant access to everyone and anyone, especially if you love them. So choosing peace, it doesn't mean you wish these people any harm. It just means, you know, you wish yourself the healing journey that you are entitled to. You know, you can still miss these people and still know you did the right thing. Like, I do have it sometimes when I'm like, oh yeah, like I wish I just to have them in my life, but remember, like, no, like doing this was a really important decision for myself and my own mental well-being, and you know, I don't regret doing that. I don't think we should have regrets in life. Everything's about learning, and you know, we don't know everything in life. We're all on this different journeys, and learning and healing, it's just all a part of it. You know, if someone genuinely loves and respects you, then they will respect that you need space. You know, I feel like sometimes people can go the opposite way and be quite hateful, but again, that's going to be a projection on themselves, and obviously stuff that they should work on. But just remember, it's never a reflection on you, and if someone is like that towards you, then obviously that's, oh my god, it's absolutely bloody pissing down. Don't just love the UK weather. Slay. No. What was I saying? This is a really good point, actually. This is a point I made. People who only benefit from your lack of boundaries will be the loudest when you start setting them. This is so true. For those people that took advantage of you and didn't understand, and took advantage of your boundaries, and when you start setting those in place, these are the people that are going to be the loudest. They're the ones that are going to be hateful towards you, and honestly, it's going to be a blessing if these people are going to react to you for setting boundaries and having peace for your own state of mind and your own state of well-being. Then they are not meant to be in your life, sister and brother. Okay, they're not meant to be in your life, so it's a blessing in disguise, really. You know, you will grieve the closeness, but you will never regret choosing calmness. I've had it in certain like situations as well, with people as well. Like, it's really important to speak it's important to speak up about how we feel and how certain people's actions have hurt us or influenced us, but it's always important to go about it a certain way. And if people try to turn it around on you, like being manipulative and gaslight you, again, just don't even tolerate it. Don't add fire to the fuel. You know, these people clearly have a different state of mind, especially people who are narcissists. Again, this is a lot of stuff that they need to work on themselves, but not a lot of the time narcissists won't even know that they're a narcissist, so sometimes that doesn't even work. But if you explain to people how you feel and how that is impacting you, it's not even like in a malicious way, it's important to have communications with people. Like, that's how we should be communicating. If we don't communicate, then how can we resolve issues that are there, and they're just going to build up, and then we're just going to have this tower of issues that we don't seem to communicate on. And if people can't acknowledge that and communicate back to you in a nice way or a nice manner, then again, you said your piece, and then I think it's time to move on. It's time to remove those people from your life, because like I said, these people clearly need to work on themselves, work on their healing, go on their journey on their own when they're ready. You know, you can't always fix people, so you just gotta start with yourself, heal yourself, and hopefully other people will follow suit. Okay, I'm going to do a little thought, reflection, little takeaway, little task. Again, you don't have to do this. It's just to help you on your journeys and your mindset and your blah, 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 blah. Okay, so think about 5 people you spend the most time with, right? How do you feel after you've been around them? Do you feel energized? Do you feel exhausted? Do you feel happy? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel lighter? Do you feel heavier? Like, just make a journal, note it down. No, protecting your peace doesn't always mean big decisions. It's obviously just taking the small steps, the small shifts, saying no, and leaving messages unread and walking away quietly. Just remember, you got to do what is right for you, obviously within reason. Don't do it just to hurt or be malicious to other people. That's not the way forward. But I'm going to end it with a really good affirmation. So, my energy is precious. My peace is a priority. I can love people without losing myself. And I think that's a really good one. I really like that one. So if this episode resonated with you today, then please share it with your fellow peeps. Like, comment, do all that jazz. And a reminder that choosing peace isn't selfish. It's just self-respect and part of growth. But I hope you liked this episode. And yeah, don't forget to like, share, comment. And I love you. And I'll see you in the next one.